What's up? So ladies and gentlemen, we are finally coming at you with the long-awaited, long-requested ranking every gun in Black Ops 2 Zombies. This is a really difficult video. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like this is a perfect list, but I will say it is the best list that I could come up with my many years of playing Black Ops 2 Zombies. But anyway, with all that said, let's get into it. So coming in at our number 57 spot, the worst gun on our list, this is going to be the ballistic knife. But hold up just a second, you're probably wondering how we're actually going to be doing this video. What are the criteria, as some people might ask for? Hi, Crazy Rabbit. Okay. So, the way we're gonna rank guns in this video is gonna be twofold. First, we'll take into consideration the gun's ability to kill fast. Guns that can kill fast are safe and effective, but you also have to take into consideration how many zombies this gun can kill. So it's a bit of a balanced approach. You can have a really powerful gun that only has one shot and it's not really that practical. Or you can have a gun with unlimited ammo that doesn't do a lot of damage, and then that's not always so practical either. So the best guns on our list will do both, the worst guns will do neither. And the ballistic knife gets our bottom spot because it does neither. Now, as we know, the ballistic knife can pick up teammates when revived, but it's really not an effective or useful tool, I would say. It's really just not worth a precious weapon slot, and so for that reason, its other uses are just, well, there's no use. Yeah, its other uses do not exist, so that's why it's bottom. Now moving on to number 56, still in the F tier, we have the SMR. The SMR's accuracy is completely off of what it says it is, and that's really the biggest thing with it. First of all, it's not a very powerful weapon, but the real problem is that not only is it weak, it doesn't actually shoot where you point it to. And frankly, I just don't want to use a gun that's not going to aim on target. So as always, the SMR is scoring pretty low. But really, those two weapons and the non-upgraded War Machine are the only things I would put in the F tier. So from here, we're going to move on to D, starting with the Remington. Really just a remodel of the Stakeout from Black Ops 1. This thing is just a very ineffective shotgun. Fortunately, the other shotguns in Black Ops 2 are actually very good, but this one is still just very disappointing. And actually at number 4, we have the Olympia. It actually does the same amount of base damage as the Remington, but also has incendiary ammo and shoots pretty fast, so I think it is a better shotgun to use. And at number 53, this is going to be the Ballista. Actually a pretty decent early round gun. The Ballista is good if you're good with it, but it is completely outclassed by pretty much every other sniper in the game. At number 52, we have the B23R. Another decent starting weapon. The B23R is certainly nothing you're gonna want to use into really anything past round 8. Serves a purpose, but it's a bad weapon overall. And followed by that at number 51 is the Cap 40. The automatic fire slightly edges this thing out, but overall the Cap 40 is a very bad weapon considering it comes from the box. And then topping off number 50, we have the M14. The good old classic M14, I mean, it's an AR, but it's not a very good one. Certainly the best of the starting weapons. Pretty good for weakening zombies to get knife kills, pretty good for getting points, actually decent for headshots, and actually decent when you pack-a-punch it, but it's certainly a lower class weapon overall. At number 49, this is the Cheekum. Very low ammo count, very low damage, but it does one thing right, and that is mobility. The Cheekon is the weapon with the highest mobility in all of Black Ops 2, so it can be useful to just carry for training. It's just a shame that it's so ineffective because it's really not worth using still. At number 48, we have the M16, a weapon that was okay in Black Ops 1, and we really just see fall off the assault rifle wagon in this game. Overall, we saw a huge buff to the assault rifle weapon section, but the M16 actually went unchanged, and it just can't compete with all the higher level assault rifles now. And I think that's gonna actually take us to our C tier, which is going to start us with the M8A1. Pretty similar to the M16, but it shoots 4 shots a burst and is a little bit more accurate. I really don't like the M8A1, but it's not horrible. Now, number 46, we have the FAL. Another weapon that I really don't like using. Like, seriously, one of my least favorite things to get from the box. The FAL is like an early Drakon. Except the Drakon in Black Ops 3 is really good and the FAL isn't. The FAL should have been the the Drakon, but it's not. And it really is just unable to compete with any high-level assault rifle. At number 45, we have the 5.7. Now, we're not putting both weapons in because I just think that's silly, so we're just going to assume the best version, which is the dual wield. Surprisingly good considering how not great it is, I guess. It could definitely pump out some damage, but it's not something you're going to use for a serious run. Number 44, we have the Barrett. Certainly the worst of the traditional snipers of Black Ops 2. The Barrett has a lot of recoil and no iron sights, which is basically what I want in my sniper. At number 43, we have the MP5. I think this is the most average gun of Black Ops 2. Like, it's okay. It's good for getting points, good for killing up to maybe round 20. But other than that, it's not gonna do a lot. Just not that effective. And actually, just overall, it's got some of the lowest stats of any SMG in the game. Now, at number 42, this is gonna be the Type 25. So the formula for this weapon is low damage with high rate of fire, but unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of ammo. You can't have a gun that's like this with low ammo. And for that reason, it's just not very effective. Also, it's got a lot of recoil, and I don't like that either. And you know what? I think that's actually going to take us out of our C tier and into the Bs. And believe it or not, coming in at number 41, we have the War Machine. Now, the non-pack-a-punch version is definitely an F tier weapon. But if you can pack-a-punch the War Machine, you will actually get your hands on a pretty solid weapon. The explosion on this thing is actually quite devastating. It can do a lot of damage. So, gotta give it credit where credit is due. It's really not a bad weapon. At number 40, we have the S12. Basically the worst usable shotgun. It wants to compete with the better shotguns, but it just can't. Still though, it's not bad at all, and I like this weapon. At number 39, we have the Python. Pretty useful weapon, can pump out a lot of damage, good for getting a few zombies out of your way. And followed right up by it is the Remington New Model Army. The RNMA is the exact same weapon as the Python, just looks cooler. At number 37, we have the first LMG on our list, and this is the RPD. Statistically, the worst LMG in the game. It's really not bad, but there's better options. It's got more ammo, but does less damage, and for that reason, in my opinion, it's just not worth using. At number 36, this is going to be the MP40. Basically, just a better MP5. This seems to have better headshot damage and is overall, you know, pretty decent. It's your origin starter weapon. It's not fantastic, but it's not horrible. But in the grand scheme of SMGs, this thing has literally half the DPS of the Scorpion. Then number 35, we have the AK-74U. So for comparison, this was one of the best SMGs in Black Ops 1. And SMGs got one of the biggest buffs in 2. But the AK-74U unfortunately did not. And so for that reason, it's really not all that great. And actually at number 34, this is going to be the STG-44. I was actually shocked to look at the stats of this weapon. It's not near as good as I thought it was, but it is better than the MP40. So it is decent, but there are many better SMGs out there. Now at number 33, we have the KSG. The KSG is pretty powerful, but I don't think it serves the best role as what a shotgun is meant to be. The KSG shoots slugs, and so for that reason, you need to rely quite heavily on accuracy. I like to use my shotguns as basically, oh, what's going on, and just kind of blind fire into zombies to get them out of my way, and the KSG doesn't work great at that. Powerful, but it shoots quite slow, and with the slug, you need to really be accurate. It's cool because it's an Origins exclusive, and I do like it, but I think there are better shotguns out there. At number 32, we have the RPG. The RPG is amazing, and if you disagree with me, I will fight you. 8 rocket-propelled grenades that shoot automatically. Do you really want to argue with that? Now, the problem with the RPG is that it just doesn't have a lot of ammo. It's really fun, but it's just that. Plus, there's not a lot of PhD in Black Ops 2, so are you really going to use it seriously? And at number 31, you know what? I think this is time for A-tier weapons. This is the SVU. The SVU is a fun, effective, and overall just great sniper that I love. One of the more exciting features of Die Rise, and it's just a real pleasure to use. The SVU really feels like an early stage Drakon, I would say. And actually at number 30, we have the PDW. You know, on paper, this weapon is actually not as good as I thought. It's essentially a worse version of the Tommy gun. It's got less damage, less ammo, and is slower shooting. But it still does have a 50-round clip, and that is pretty spicy. And following that at number 29, we have the Uzi. A Mob of the Dead exclusive, this weapon shoots slightly slower than the Scorpion, but has a similar amount of ammo and damage. I really like the Uzi. It's an underrated weapon that I think a lot of people never fell in love with, the Tommy gun really outshines it, but it's still a very solid weapon and is a pleasure to use. Just an absolute pleasure. And at number 28, we have the Scorpion Evo. Crazy fast, good strength, the highest DPS of any SMG. Sadly, this thing just doesn't have the ammo to be as effective as it could. Yeah, it's a little disappointing. Now, number 27, we have the AK-47. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty middle of the road assault rifle. I really don't see why they didn't make this thing more powerful, seeing it was a very hyped up mob exclusive. There are some really powerful assault rifles in Black Ops 2, and I just don't see why this box weapon shouldn't be in that tier. It's good, but there are better options for sure. Now at number 26, another Mob of the Dead gun. This is the Tommy gun. So the M1927 actually doesn't have as high a DPS as the Uzi or the Scorpion, but it's got such a big mag, so much more ammo that I really think the difference in damage output becomes negligible. It's only a little bit weaker and you're able to kill many, many more zombies with it. And I think that is why it's such a fan favorite. Plus I may be mistaken, but I think it has better range. So that is also a nice little feature. And topping out number 25, it's the LSAT. The LSAT has almost the exact same stats as the MG08, which is coming in at number 24. So the only difference between these two weapons is that this thing does 10 damage more when it's not pack-a-punched. Except the MG08 actually has ricochet bullets. A lot of people don't know about that, but the bullets will actually bounce off and cause slight damage to other zombies. It's kind of weird. Only pack-a-punched, I'm pretty sure, but yeah. The MG08 is a beast. It fits so perfectly into Origins, and again, it is very similar to the LSAT. Basically, just another reskin. Now, at number 23, we have the MTAR. And if we're gonna talk about that, we may as well talk about the M27 as well, which is coming in at number 22. So basically, again, the exact same stats. The MTAR just does 10 less damage than the M27. The M27 is a beast, so is the MTAR. Some of the best assault rifles in the game, really only held back by their limited ammo, which isn't even that bad, but it could be better. Now at number 21, we have the Hammer. So something cool about the Hammer is that its RPM is 625, but for the first 7 rounds that are shot, it's actually 937. It's also got the same damage as the LSAT, but has slightly more ammo. So if you optimize this weapon, it's just better than those other 2 assault rifles we talked about. There's really no debate there. You know, the Hammer used to be even better, but they nerfed the recoil like way back, maybe 2 months into Black Ops 2 Zombies. Still a good weapon though, and it's your number 21 spot. And at number 20, we have the top LMG, if this counts as an LMG. It's the Death Machine. So much ammo. Dude, this thing literally grinds meat for a living. If you can't do good with the Death Machine, you are bad at video games. You literally just sit in a corner and spam it. It's got 550. There is, however, a problem with that, and that's because max ammos won't refill the main chamber. So you can definitely have ammo problems with this thing, but overall, dude, it's so good. Coming in at number 19, maybe a high ranking, but it's the M1216. The M1216 is a really good shotgun. It's a pretty powerful shotgun that shoots 4-round bursts. It's one of my go-to weapons on Nuketown. Probably the map that it's most effective in, just because there are no other like power weapons to really save you other than the Mark II. It's just a really safe weapon to use, and that's why I like it so much. But at number 18, I'm actually going to put it up to the Executioner. The Executioner is a really good weapon. One shot kill up until 34, pack-a-punch with double temp. This thing is just a trainer's dream. I mean, it's got incredible mobility. It reloads super quick. And again, with that power, it's just perfect for getting out of hairy situations, especially if you don't have a wonder weapon. Moving on to number 17, this is going to be Mustang and Sally, an explosive weapon with great mobility and a lot more ammo. What more do you want? Mustang and Sally is certainly held back in Black Ops 2 due to the limited amount of PhD you can get. It's precarious and buried and only confirmed in Origins. Sadly, Origins doesn't have Mustang and Sally. So because of that, I just don't think Mustang and Sally are as effective. It may be fast at killing zombies, but it's not a very safe weapon to use, as you can also down yourself with it. So I love Mustang and Sally. It's super useful, but really only on buried. Now, moving on to number 16, we have the old AN-94. Getting into some really good weapons here. The AN-94 has a butt ton of ammo and is a wall weapon. Wow. Like, the AI-94 is ridiculous. It's one of the top 5 non-wonder weapons in this game and can be gotten off the wall. The 3rd best assault rifle, and it's a wall weapon. It's just overall amazing, and its accessibility makes it just that much better. But if we're going for pure strength, which we kind of are, the Galil is better. While the Galil is outclassed in ammo, it's just a whole lot stronger. I mean, if you've ever used the two, it is very noticeable how strong the Galil actually is. Upgraded as a pure stat breakdown, the AN does 200 damage. Galil does 220, but the Galil has an RPM of 750, whereas the AN is only 625. So it's just really not even a competition. Now at number 14, this is going to be the Scar H. Okay, so remember, AN-94, 200, 220 for the Galil. The Scar does 300 damage a shot, but it's probably got a lower rate of fire or something, right? No, not really. 625, same as the AN. Total ammo is 480, almost as much as the Galil. Dude, the Scar is insane. Like, I really believe that Jason Blundell was just like, oh, okay, Jimmy Z, like, yeah, everyone loves the AN. Psych. It is 50% stronger than the AN. It outclasses every AR by a mile, and it doesn't make sense, but it is what it is, and it is freaking amazing. And also, I mean, hey, another one for Origins, right? But there are actually 2 better before we get to the wonder weapons. The DSR is coming in at number 13. It's just really strong, man. It's just really strong. Headshots, yep. Mobility, like actually kind of, yeah. Iron sights, yep. What more do you want? If you're a good player, it's great for saving you. It's great for taking out huge numbers of hordes. On paper, it really is one of the best guns in Black Ops 2. But if I'm gonna be honest, I think the best of Black Ops 2 is the Boom Hilda. The upgraded Mauser from Origins is just everything. Amazing mobility, high damage, and now apparently also allows you to fly through the air or something. The Boom Hilda is crazy! And so it is significantly better than any other weapon on our list, but not even close to a wonder weapon. The Boom Hilda does 1,000 damage. The Mark II does 100,000. So just for comparison, just so you know, that's gonna be the difference between wonder weapons and not. Yeah, so moving on to number 11, still in A tier for a second, we have the ray gun. Maybe. You know, maybe. Boom Hilda, ray gun, I think that's a bit of a close call, honestly. Actually, you know what? No. I'm gonna flip that around. Mid-video change, Boom Hilda 11, ray gun 12. There you go. You hate me, but sorry. It is what it is. Moving on to number 10, though. I hate it. It is the jet gun. So the way we're doing wonder weapons is a little bit different. The way we're going to rank wonder weapons, it's gonna be a blend of ability to kill, so like how many zombies can this gun kill and how quickly can it do it, how effectively. But the other side we need to look at is the ability to save you. That is a huge component of a wonder weapon. It really plays into, especially for beginner players, and if you don't consider that, I just don't think it's an accurate look at truly how effective a wonder weapon is. So how we'll do this is we'll give a rating out of 10 for ability to kill and ability to save. We'll add the 2 together, and that'll give us a rating on how we think the wonder weapon is. The jet gun is the worst of the real wonder weapons. Its ability to kill is going to get a 10 out of 10. I hate that I have to give it a 10 out of 10, but technically it does have unlimited damage. It can kill till any round, and that is, well, that is the best. But the jet gun is going to get a 0 out of 10 on its ability to save. The jet gun breaks. And so in an attempt to save yourself, you'll probably overheat it, break it, and for that reason, I'm giving it a 0 because the jet gun is the jet gun. So the jet gun is only going to get a 10 out of 20. At number 9, we have the sweeper. The sweeper is pretty good until it's not. I'm gonna give both ability to kill and save a 6. Like when it works, it's really good, but once you get into some later rounds, it really stops being effective, and both of those things fall off quite a bit. The sweeper is hardly even what I would consider a wonder weapon though, so like it's not a huge hate on it. It's more of just a really good shotgun. Anyway, at number 8, we have the Mark II. The ray gun Mark II can kill quite a few amount of zombies and up to a pretty decent round. I think somewhere in the 60s. So for that, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And its ability to save, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. When it's useful, again, it is actually quite useful. I mean, on Nuketown, it's the best weapon to train with when it's still good. So overall, Mark II is a pretty solid weapon with a 12.5 out of 20. Coming in at number 8, we have the Paralyzer. So this weapon is not a one-shot kill forever, but it does have unlimited ammo. It's pretty slow at killing, but it still does have unlimited ammo. So I think for the kill, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. You have to be really good to use this thing. So like it's not the easiest to kill with, but the unlimited ammo is a pretty big deal. As for saving you, it's gonna get a 2 out of 10 because it's just not a safety weapon at all. Like if you're trapped in a corner, a Paralyzer is never going to save you. I don't know. I guess that 2 out of 10 is because maybe you can fly out or something. Like at least it's not gonna break. But it's not so good. Now, at number 6, we have the Ultimate Staff of Wind. This weapon is really good at killing zombies. Its charge shot can kill a ton of zombies, but its ammo severely limits it. Still good though, so an 8.5 out of 10. Now, up until round 20, it acts as a thunder gun, and so its ability to save you is a 10 out of 10. Fortunately though, I don't really think that's a realistic number to cap things at. A lot of players make it past round 20, so we gotta consider everything. And I would say after that, it's more like a 5 out of 10 at best. So with that said, the Wind Staff is going to get a 13.5 out of 20. But if it was always a one-shot kill, it would be the best based on this ranking. Moving on to number 5, we have Kagastushi's Blood, or the Fire Staff. This weapon is pretty good at killing. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. The magma charge shot is pretty good. The other shot is, normal shot is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. And its ability to save you again is actually gonna be a 7 out of 10. The Fire Staff is the most balanced of the staffs. It's pretty good at everything, but not amazing at anything. Moving on to number 4, we've actually got a tie. So number 3, number 4, whatever you want to put it, it's going to be the Ice and Lightning Staff. Because this rating system is very balanced, this is what you get. So the Ice Staff's ability to kill is gonna be a 10 out of 10. It's not a one shot forever, I don't believe, but it can get you to round 100 quite quickly and quite easily. And I'm really trying to look at what's effective for 99% of players, and I think that's that. So sorry, high round people, I don't care. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 anyway. As for saving you, it's not very good. Now, it's not horrible. If you know how to use the Ice Staff, you can be saved, but you have to be very proactive with it, and I think that is not the best for most players, so I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10 on its ability to save. As for the Lightning Staff, it's basically the opposite of Ice. The Lightning Staff isn't the best at killing into the late rounds. It's not bad, and for most rounds the players will play it, it's good, but it does fall off. Plus its charge shot is the worst of all the staffs. So I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. I think that's fair, like same as the Mark II, but its ability to save is really good. In most rounds, the players are going to use it. You just shoot it at the ground and it will kill everything around you. And I think that is something worth noting. It does fall off eventually though, so 8.5 out of 10 for, again, a 14 out of 20. Now moving on to number 2. We have the Vitrolic Withering. So the Vitrolic Withering is not the best weapon for killing zombies. It definitely falls off, but when it's good, it's good. You know, it'll last into the 30s, maybe the 40s, and it can kill hordes very well. 5 out of 10, pretty average. But the Vitrolic Withering is the safest weapon in Black Ops 2 Zombies. You shoot this thing and you don't die. It literally shoots monkey bombs. There is nothing as safe in almost all of zombies. I think the only thing safer really is a thunder gun or Apothecan's Servant. But as for Black Ops 2, it is the best and it is going to get a 10 out of 10. And so that is actually going to give it a 15 out of 20. But ladies and gentlemen, as far as this system goes, the best wonder weapon in Black Ops 2 Zombies is the Sliquifier. And that's really because the Sliquifier is quite rounded. It is more than a one-shot kill up until round 100. It might fall off at round 100, so we won't give it a perfect score, but I mean, it's pretty freaking good. It's got a ton of ammo. Man, maybe it's a 10 out of 10. I don't know. I have a 9 out of 10 here. Either way, it's still the best. Yeah, no, I think 9 is fair. Not quite as effective as an Ice Staff, but really freaking good at killing. But the thing that makes this weapon so balanced is it's also pretty effective at saving you. If you get caught in a corner with this liquefier and you know what you're doing, you don't even really have to know what you're doing, you're probably gonna get yourself out. Because it kills up until 100, you just kind of fire into the crowd and those zombies will die, the zombies behind those zombies will die. It's pretty good. Not the safest weapon, but one of the better ones, and so I gave it a 7 out of 10. And so, based off that rating, it's gonna get a 16 out of 20 and really is the most well-rounded wonder weapon. Or in other terms, it's the best weapon for most players. But ladies and gentlemen, with that said, that is going to be our video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you are watching someone react to this, please come over here and subscribe. Leave a like, comment down below what you thought, and yeah, that's gonna be our list. As always, peace out, you freaking nerds. Let's move. I need people to know that I like Tame Impala, bro.